I hear you. They're awesome until they're not. And I'm telling you right now, I've just seen too many of the Streamlights fail under hard use. The problem is most of the time we baby our guns. And again, I think for 99% of the people, given what they'll end up putting their gun through, the Streamlights are going to be good. And I will also say Streamlights have gotten better. I do admit that. I have an affinity for Surefire. I just have never seen them fail. I've seen the other ones fail. Some of those have probably improved in quality, but Surefire has always been good to me. And I think they're worth the money. So do that with what you will. What else we got up there?
Cloud Defensive.
Yeah, that's one. Cloud Defensive.
Which one?
It's never heard of that.
No, but I just looked it up. It's $30 light.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, handheld light, you guys buy whatever. I don't really care. But I'll tell you what I will tell you, until they're vetted and I know that you can bet your life on them, you're not going to see anything else other than Surefire in our shop. And I'd rather carry something that's a little bit more expensive. And all those lights, I'll tell you, the Surefire, the margins on Surefire, the margins on a lot of the products we carry are much lower than some of the other options that we could sell more of and get a higher profit margin out of.
But we'd have more unhappy customers.
Well, yeah, like you're going to have more issues out of them. It's just a fact. You know, there are some products that cost what they do because they're worth it, and then there's some that aren't, that are kind of hard to justify. Surefire, I think, is definitely one of them, and you know, potentially Mod Light. We'll see about carrying those. I will say the TLR7 sub that's been on my
365.
my 365 XL for what 2-3 years now. Whenever they came out,
Yeah,
probably about 2.5 years, something like that. That's worked flawlessly. I beat that thing up. I've used it. You know,
carry it every day.
Carried it every day. There's thousands of rounds through it. I never had an issue with that. It's the brightest small light that I could find, so that was pretty good. Let's talk about. Let's see, where am I on my list here? Let's talk about handgun setup. Does anybody have any questions about handguns? Recommended handguns?
I think there was a question up there.
I have a few, especially for first time buyers.
All right, so the first thing that you guys need to know about handguns, I've talked about this in other videos, is we do not start yourself or females or new shooters on compact guns, compact or subcompact, and I'll clarify that. I'm considering Glock 19s and up, not subcompacts or even really compacts. It's just a smaller full-size gun, in my opinion, the way the Glock 19 is set up. So with that being said, you know, shooting a subcompact gun, small guns, that is an advanced skill. That should not be your first gun. You're not going to enjoy shooting it as much, and it's going to be harder to learn the fundamentals on those smaller guns. So get you a full-size gun. The larger the gun, the easier it is to manage the recoil or less recoil, felt recoil that there actually is. It's just going to do you. It's going to help you get better at the fundamentals, and especially with women and things like that. Don't get a gun that quote unquote fits her hand. Look, whether it's a Glock whether it's a Glock, whether they're M&P, SIGs,
different back straps.
They have different back straps, different grip modules, all those things. Yep. You'll be able to find one that'll fit their hand. The other problem that we always run into is that when women and younger kids and things like that, people with less upper body strength, and unfortunately even some men that have never been to the gym, they can't manipulate a slide, right? We can't get the slide to the lock to the rear. Part of that's technique. Almost every female that comes to our course that comes in and says, hey, I can't do this, by the end of that course, they're doing it consistently, doing it easily.
I used to struggle with that, and now I don't at all. Yeah.
So it's a matter of technique, and we can show you that. But the fact of the matter is those small guns have a much stiffer recoil spring, drive spring in there that is going to make it even more difficult. So between gun manipulation, being able to actually operate that firearm, and then also being able to shoot it consistently, go with a larger gun. Start off with a larger gun. Honestly, a full-size gun, something along the lines of a Glock 17, M&P 2.0, 9mm. That's the way to go. Once you have built a good foundation and you're competent and confident with that gun, then get you a subcompact. And I can't recommend enough the P365 XL. For me and most people that I know, that's kind of the perfect subcompact EDC. I didn't like, my hands are large. It's the standard 365 just didn't fit my hand. It was almost too small. The 365 is XL is perfect. Some people like the macro. I think the macro is obviously even bigger than the 365 XL. Now we're getting into larger than even frame size. It's thinner, but frame size is actually as big as almost a Glock 17. You start getting into big gun. To me, the XL is the perfect way to go, and I can always throw, it's 12 plus 1 for capacity. Then we can throw on the extended mag on that. I think it's that's +3, so I'm at like 15 plus 1, and I think that's perfect for most situations. Also, I will tell you right now, and everybody can, I've never liked SIG. I've never been a big fan of SIG. The 365 line, period, I think are some of the best subcompact guns out there, as much as I even hate to say that. But you know, I know there's a lot of folks out there that do like SIG, and I'll tell you, I think they make the best concealed. That gun shoots like a full-size gun. It handles like a full-size gun. They just did a lot of things right with that 365 series, in my opinion.
I think I'd like to add to this conversation is that if you can go to some type of training class company where you can go and shoot a few different type of pistols even before you purchase, because I think especially for women, what we end up hearing is, you know, a woman walks into a gun store and a well-meaning, you know, person behind the counter is like, oh, you need a little 380. You need a, you know, this little gun. Oh, this will fit.
This Tiffany blue
Yeah,
one.
get the Tiffany blue one, you know, and like, they don't know what to purchase. And then they end up, you know, coming to us, or we hear about they really regret spending their money on that gun maybe first, you know, maybe that's a gun down the road, but they realize that they've purchased wrong. So if you can find a training company that runs a class where you can go and shoot a couple of different types of pistols, or at least get exposed to some different types before you purchase, that would really be the smart thing to do.
And that's one of the things we spent a lot of time and money investing in. You know, we have student guns, and that's with our carbine courses, our ARs. We have many different ARs. We have many different pistols. We have many different long range guns. You know, you can literally show up to our course. We got your gun belt set up, a holster for you, ammo. We'll work through different pistols if you need to. We're typically pretty good at like assessing somebody, like, hey, you know what, I think this one would be great for you. You know, if you are going to get a self-defense pistol, I don't want to spend too much on this tonight because we could go down a rabbit hole with this, but 9mm is the way to go, period. Like, you don't need more, you don't need less. There's lots of good data that I could go into in depth and convince you otherwise, but just take my word for it for now. 9mm is the way to go. It gives you more capacity, lower recoil, you can shoot faster. It's the way to go. 380, not the way to go. There's not much difference in recoil between 380 and 9mm. And especially if you're applying the fundamentals, any woman that can shoot 380 can shoot 9mm. Give her a 9mm so that she's just not, anyways, just, and again, find somebody that's competent you can come train with, and they'll get them very competent and confident in their ability to use that firearm. What were you going to laugh about?
I was just laughing when you said find somebody competent. I was just laughing at our earlier conversation.
He's right though. I mean, I asked Jay to make Robin be happy holding a gun and shooting it, and then he was like, "Which full size you got?" That was the first word out of his mouth. Which full size you got? I said, "Oh, I got a 17 and a 19X." He's like, "Bring the 19X for her." And she shot it and felt super comfy. I even had my Ruger Mark IV 22, and it's a little bit smaller gun. Even a 22 round, she didn't feel as comfortable with that as shooting a 9mm. Yeah. So, and again, go to somebody that's competent.
Well,
knows what they're doing.
Look,
don't go to Jim Bob's and be like, "Oh yeah, here, grab this old revolver and see how you like."
And for the men out there, look, I know there's a lot of, I hear all the time, I've been shooting for X amount of years. It's almost never a good idea for a husband to teach a wife anything.
Nope.
I don't care how good you are. The other thing too is, like, expose your kids and your wives to like some professional training that's not you, right? And I'll tell you, like, when Summer comes out to the range, she jumps on one of her courses. Am I over there working with her? No. I got, one of my other very good instructors.
I'm at the other end of the line, as far away as I can get from Gary, so
Yeah.
he can't see what I'm doing and he can't judge me.
And besides, you don't want to get all hot and bothered right there while she's trying.
Jesus.
So I try to.
Distracted by the muscles.
She's
Ooh,
over
my
there.
husband looks so
She's over-
hot.
She's over there, can't concentrate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So get your kids and your wives, or your husbands, some professional training. I think the experience will be much better for them, without a doubt, than you trying to do it all on your own.